and it is almost midnight on Mother's Day, May 11th. Late Night Lori is coming to ya before midnight, but after 11 o'clock. I've tried to get in here earlier, but sometimes it just doesn't work. So, happy Mother's Day to all of the moms and will be moms, moms to be, grandmas, aunts, mother figures. I hope you had a great day. I was able to spend some time today with my granddaughter still. She stayed overnight and we met up with her mom and dad and had lunch. And then I just kind of chilled out for part of the afternoon and then was paying bills and whatnot. And time got away from me, and here I am now. So let's try to do a little bit of crafting. I am going to pick up where Rylie left off on our video yesterday. She was featuring, excuse me, she was featuring the Heirloom Arrangements kit. And if you recall, or if you didn't catch it, take about 15 or 16 minutes. I was laughing when I watched the replay because some of what she says and does is just pretty comical. But anyway, she flipped open the instruction sheet and said, here's the instructions, but you don't really have to follow them. And it's true, you really don't. They really, in these instructions for this kit, basically only give you the layout on doing 2 of the cards. And then they show you pictures of what some of the samples were for the other cards and don't really give the step-by-step. And with some of the feedback that I saw on the Stampin' Up! Videos, so if you're looking here for the Stampin' Up! Kits, this QR code should take you to this kit. Excuse me. And this kit will make 8 cards, and it has envelopes that coordinate. So these are the envelopes that coordinate, and they come plain. So per the instructions, I stamped the butterfly or the moth. It looks like a moth to me. And then on the other side, you can see that there's stamped on the inside. I'll give it a little more light. But then this image, or these 2 images rather, were stamped on with pecan pie. So here's a little hash mark. Here's a little moth. So I had already done that on all of my envelopes when I was getting everything propped back when I first opened up this kit. All right. So like I said, 8 cards, you get the envelopes, you get all of the laser cut pieces, whether they're vellum or on cardstock. There's a bunch of tags in here. You get a stamp set that's got some sentiments and then those couple of images. With every kit, you get a block. It's a thin block, so it's not like a full-size D block, but it's the size of a D block. It's just not as thick as a D block, okay? And it's not textured, it's all smooth. Now with my blocks from Stampin' Up, they have the, what I call like the gripper ridge in there, which is really important for me because I have less sensation in my fingertips than I used to. And it just makes it easier for me to hold on to things when I can kind of grip into a groove. So anyway, when you get a kit like this, everything you need comes in the box. So I laid out a bunch of the cards and I just started putting some of the elements down to see what would work. All right, so I'm going to set the instructions over because I don't usually follow instructions anyway. I might look at the picture and then kind of do my own thing. So these are the 2 cards that Rylie demonstrated in her video. And what I did was added on the thank you. And I did a little blending brush here with the Pretty Peacock, because when it was light, it seemed like it kind of went with that. And then on this one, I put a thank you and a little baker's twine bow. Okay, so these were the cards that Rylie did. We just didn't have time to put the sentiments on them before. So I'm going to set those aside. And you know I'm a messy stamper, so here's my mess. And I think I'm just going to start with this one, I guess. And actually, this one as well. Okay, so I'm going to kind of shift some of this stuff over. So when you get the kit, there's all these little images. So, and you basically just punch them out. There's tags, there's flowers, there's some vellum pieces. All right. So the instructions kind of show you how to sort them out. You can follow the pictures, but I just started laying things out. So there were a couple of different card bases. So we've got this card base here, and the design goes across the front and the back. So on a couple of these, I'm actually going to cut these card bases in half because I have a lot more elements than what I put on my cards. So why not use these punched out elements? You know, like I have, these are extra elements that I didn't use on any of my layouts. This is an extra element. This is an extra element. So the way I laid them out, I took a few of them to do this yellow one with Daffodil Delight. So I think what I'm going to do is take probably this card base, and I'm just going to cut it. Oh, and this one doesn't have the design on the back. So let's see. This is the only one that has a design on the back. Well, that's very interesting. I don't know what I was looking at before. So I think what we'll do is we'll just put this on a separate card base, and we'll figure out what color card base we want to put that on. So let's go back to this then. And I thought some of the kits do have the design on the front and the back, and we could actually make this design very easily by going on here, but I don't know if I want to go to all that trouble with the video tonight that I'm hoping will be relatively short. I know I always say that, but it doesn't always happen. So I thought this piece was really pretty with those yellow roses. The corners are squared, so it's just a plain old rectangle. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice to have them a little rounded? And you probably can't see it really well, but there's a little notch in here too, because I put it through here. So what I did was, I just put the corner inside this punch. This is the Labeled with Love punch. And I just clipped off that corner. And then I put the other corner on the other side and clipped out that corner. So then to me it just kind of, I don't know, it softened up the look. It made it look a little more shabby. Is it the shabby chic? Is that what it is? So this piece I'm just going to glue down. I'm just going to kind of eyeball things and see how I want them. So this one will just kind of glue down. This one I'm going to put up on dimensionals because to me it seems like it needs to be raised up. And Rylie last night when she was doing her video, she was actually using the pokey end of the Take Your Pick tool to take off the backing papers for the dimensionals. She did a pretty good job. She's not practiced that before, but she sees me and she likes to try to do things like I do. So it just occurred to me that there is a dot in there, or a hole in there, and I think I want to add a little piece of twine. So what I do with my packages when I get more than one roll of twine in a package, I cut little slits in here so that I can roll out just a little bit without taking 4 of them out to get to the one that's probably in the bottom of the package, because that's usually how my look goes. So I'm just going to cut off a piece of this. And this is the Baker's Twine Essentials pack. As far as I'm aware, this is still available. I looked it up a few days ago and it was there. So I'm just going to put my loop through the front. I've got it. So I just cut off a hunk. I didn't measure it. Fold it in half, put the loop through the front, and then when I pull the tail through, it gives me that nice closed end or neatened end. And then let's take, I'm gonna take your pick tool and try to fray these ends a little bit. And then I don't even think I'm not even gonna cut them. I just like them kind of ragged looking. We'll just leave that there. And then this, we can probably just go like this. We will put a little bit of tear tape. I think will be pretty transparent. With the vellum, sometimes you just have to be careful what you use because sometimes the adhesive shows through. And if you use like the liquid glue, a lot of times that is not visible through that, but I have a hard time using my glue with the vellum. I don't know if it just slides around too much for me or what happens. But I think just these couple little pieces of tear tape will be fine. And the little bit that might go over the edge, I'm just going to fold back on itself so that it's not sticky on the front of my card. I think we'll just do that, and then we'll put a little bit more on that little edge for the stem. And I think what I'm going to do is just put that on the paper from that raised piece, and that'll be a little easier than trying to get it on that little piece of vellum. And there's a card, all done. So then we just need a little sentiment. We can use a thank you, or I appreciate your kind one, the thank you. But I don't really want to cover up the roses, so I think I'm just going to put that down here on dimensionals also. So this card really only took me probably a couple minutes, and I'm just putzing around because that's how I craft. I'm a putzy, messy stamper. And those of you who have stamped with me know that that's how I roll. So let's... I guess we'll put it there. All right, card number 1, done. Let's see this card. So this has a couple of banner pieces, an oval piece with some flowers, and I thought these were pretty similar flowers that kind of coordinated with it. So let's just glue these down. And I suppose you could put them on there pretty randomly, but I kind of like mine a little more straight. I originally had them set up on the right side of the card, but I think I'm putting these over on this side now. Don't ask me why. And I think I will put this up on dimensionals. So the really nice thing about the kits is that you don't have to think about the color coordination at all. You don't have to worry about what supplies you need because pretty much everything you need is inside the box, unless you decide to change a layout like this one. I brought in some Daffodil Delight and I used my perennial postage die to cut out that piece. All right, so I think I'll just put that up there. And I think I'll put a couple of dimensionals just on the top. And then I'll put some glue on the stem part. I hope everybody had a nice Mother's Day. Yeah, we'll just put that there. And then I could probably put another bow on there with the twine. or maybe just a loop. I think we'll use the darker brown one. We'll just cut off a little bit of this. Make a little loop going on here. And let's see how that kind of looks. That'll look all right. So let's go ahead and take these off. I'm going to put a little bit of, I could put seal, but since I already laid my dimensionals down, that might be a little hard to get in there. We'll put a little bit of tear tape there. And I'm going to put a little bit of tear tape on the base of the card here for my twine. So that kind of stays where we want it. So now we're going to have 2 cards done. And you know what always seems to dress up a card is a little Wink of Stella. There, you can hear me mixing it up here. Now, I could just do something as simple as blotting on some shimmer here on these flowers. But then it only highlights those flowers. So I really actually like to flick. And more often than not, now that got a really big flick. More often than not, I flick like at a diagonal. So that one got really big. So I think I might find some gems. I wonder if I just hit a Kleenex on it though. That works too. Beautiful. All right, so there's that card, and I don't know, you probably can't see the shimmer on there, but it's got a nice little shimmer there, and then with those flowers. So card number 2, done. Let's do this one. I thought I would do this one landscape instead of portrait, just to give it a different feel. And then I've got these few laser cut pieces. I've got this vellum piece. I've got this piece. I'm just going to glue this one down. Now I find the kits are very convenient if I'm doing like a get-together or a class, especially with people who don't think they're creative at all, because the kits really get everything coordinated for you. And most of the kits do give a little bit more direction than this one. This one was pretty much, you know, you got 8 cards, a lot of different pieces, find the pieces that you like best. But most of the kits that I've worked with, they all have some pretty straightforward directions. And unless you want to make a change, you do it just as a kit shows you, and you're all set. So I'm going to just lay that loose because I'm not sure exactly where I want this. I might actually snip this down. We'll make that its own little piece, and then I'll round this out a little bit and make that 2 pieces. So we could have one piece going here and then another piece going here. I really like the vellum pieces. So let's put a little bit of Stamp and Seal on those. And I'm just going to put this on my silicone mat, because then whatever extra adhesive there is, I can get that off the mat really easy, and it's easier to get off than if I put it on paper. And then we'll put up this flower on a dimensional, and we'll put the stem with some Stamp and Seal. Just give that flower some dimension. And then we'll put this on too. I wonder if I can pick up some of the extra adhesive that I had on here. And look at that. And then this, I'm just going to put on the inside. I'm going to glue that on the inside because I liked that color, and it goes with the flowers that are on here, so it just seemed like it coordinated with this one. So we'll just lay that in there with a little bit of glue and dress up the inside a little bit. And we need, let's look at another sentiment. There was another one on here. I feel lucky to have you, for you. Let's just do a for you. And I'm going to just stamp that right on the card, I think. Let me get a little block. Now the other thing I do that I think throws some people is, when I have a sentiment, I usually will put it not squared on my block, because then I'm looking at the words rather than my block to try to get it straight. And if I don't like it, I can always get a different sentiment piece and put it over it. So if it doesn't ink up real nice, we can put another piece right over it. There we go. And then we could use some little gems, or we could use some little butterflies. I will probably put some butterflies on these other ones too that I set off to the side, because these are all floral. And I think it works really good with the butterflies. And these butterflies are super thin, so you don't have to worry about them poking through the envelope when you go to mail it. So there's another one. All right, so there's 3. Let's put a couple of butterflies on this one. And the butterflies come in 2 sizes. So there's the bigger ones and then the smaller ones. Oops. And then this one, I don't think I want to use the butterflies, just because I've got those 3 butterflies. So I'll find some pearls or something. And I might color them. So I might do like a yellow or an orange and see how those look on there. So 3 cards. Now we've got this one. Oh, and here's another flower. Where did I have that? Oh, that was for this one too. So this one has a frame. It's got some other little elements that I thought worked well together. So I've got a vellum fern, little fern piece in here, and these flowers coordinate. Now this, I think I'm going to cut down, and I'm going to put it on another card base, because then I can use this piece, this back piece, with that other element. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this down to 4 inches, so it'll be a card front size. And then I'm going to change this from 5.5 down to 5 1/4. So this can go here. And then 5 1/4 for this. And I'll just have to find a card base color that I like that'll go with this. So let's put our frame up on some adhesive strips. So we probably only need about this far. So these adhesive strips are nice for if you're making shaker cards, or if you have a frame like this and you want it nice and sturdy throughout, instead of having little pieces that kind of collapse down. That works really well. So then we'll just Go back to there for the top and the bottom. Pretty quiet in here. So we could actually put this on the outside of the frame. That might be kind of fun. Let's do some tear and tape on here. And we'll just put a little piece here to hold this sunflower element. And then we can put a couple of dimensionals on the side, just so it doesn't fall. And maybe on this side. And that'll keep it plenty sturdy. I think I'll just put a couple of dimensionals up here. So I kind of like it that I just have all these pieces and don't really have to follow the instructions if I don't want to. And we'll put just a little bit of glue on the stem. And you don't need a lot of glue ever, really. Oh, and then I forgot to put this piece in. So maybe we'll just cut this down and pop that in like that. Put a little bit of tear and tape on the bottom here. So that's a lot easier than trying to peel up those flowers, and then I have more greenery piece if I want. And then we've got our butterfly. I'm going to take my bone folder, I think, and curl these a little bit. And yes, I'll probably flatten out a little bit if I mail it. But then let's shimmer it up a little bit. So obviously these couple of little changes, like the wink of Stella, any kind of embellishments like those butterflies, would not come with your kit. Okay. I think I'm going to do more tear and tape, because that seems to be working really well. There was a little roll of tear and tape that came with this kit, and I like to save those for my classes when I travel. And I'm just using my full size tear and tape. There, what do you think of that? Then I just need to figure out what color card base I want to put it on. If I want to do like a strawberry slush, or if I want to do maybe even a fresh freesia. I'll figure that out, but pretend at this point that this is on a card and this will go inside. So that's card number 4. Then we have this one. We could even do something like that. That'll just go on there. I think I'll glue this. We'll put a little tear and tape down for this. I know things were a lot more comical, I would guess, with Riley's video. She pretty much was talking nonstop. She was so excited to do a video, and she said, "Grandma, you can be my helper." I'm like, that's fine. We'll trim these off. I'm going to go ahead and put dimensional here and here. And then we'll put some glue down here. I guess I have to take those backing pieces off my dimensionals if they're going to stick. There we go. And then we'll just trim this off. And we'll put this up here on top of the stem. And I think we'll put a thank you on this one. And I see I forgot to put a sentiment on this last card. I should probably take care of that, huh? Get those out of there. Put a couple of butterflies on this. And then we'll pretend this is on a card base also. All right. So these will be on card bases. There's a lot going on with this card. I think we'll just glue this one down. I had stamped it on both sides. I guess I wasn't sure which side I liked better. I guess that side's a little bit better. So if you ever don't stamp straight, just know there's always two sides. Okay, so there's two more. And then I've got this one. I think we'll kind of do one of those, just a bunch of tags. And I think some twine in those would be good too, huh? I'm just going to cut a length here and then cut it in thirds. Go ahead and push these through. Again, I'm going through the front with my loop. Then I'll push the tails through there, and then when you pull it up, you've got that nice finished end. So if you always put the loop in from the front, it gives it a neater look. You know, where that looks like, to me, it's the back of the knot. I could probably do all different colors. If I had blends, I could color these pieces of baker's twine. But I think this might be pecan pie. I'm not really sure. But I think we'll do something like this. So I'll put this up on dimensionals. And I think I'll glue these two down. I just have to decide how I want it. Maybe actually something like that. So if I just use some tear and tape to hold those together, then I can put another little piece of tear and tape here. If I can get that off. Part of that struggle with being left-handed, I had to have it turned a certain way. All right, so let's put a little glue. Oh, Fifi, you're here. Welcome. I've seen a couple of people pop on and pop off, so you're the first one that said hello. So I am doing the kit that Rylie was working on yesterday, the heirloom arrangements, and I'm just trying to finish up some of the cards that we didn't do yesterday because she only did 2 of them. So I'm down to my last few elements, and I guess I'm going to put that more straight than crooked. These I have a little crooked, so I think that'll be fine. That might look kind of silly with those tags on. Maybe if I fray those edges. And then we'll put the butterfly. Trying to decide if that's going to be too much. Maybe I should just do this. What do you think, Fifi? Should I use the floral piece with the colors, or should I stay with kind of the pretty peacock? Oh, yeah. Yeah, she is 7, and it is like she's going on 30. That's for sure. She was very insistent yesterday that I could only stand behind her. She didn't want any help. So we could do something like this. Oh, there's a pink piece too. We could do something like, I think it looks better with this. I don't care for that green with the pretty peacock, so I don't think I would use this. But we could do something like that to keep it just a 2-tone. Yep, stay with the peacock. Because this one I think is more orangey that I wanted. And if we do the peacock, I mean, this is muted. So let me put this on, and then we'll see if we want to put a flower on or not. Yeah, neutral colors. Yeah, I agree. Then I could always jazz it up with a little Winkostella, because Winkostella makes everything more special. So we could do, I kind of put it like that. I put those dimensionals off to the side, and then that way the stem kind of camouflages that edge of the tag. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of here to hold that stem down. And then, do we do this butterfly or not? Because these almost look like moths to me, and I'm not sure if that's a moth or a butterfly. So I don't know. What do you think? We'll put some Winkostella on these wings. And then with or without that, I don't know if that's supposed to be Calypso Coral, or it seems more muted than the Timid Tiger, the new color. All right, so the butterfly's going to stay. I think I got all of those. Yep, so they all have a little shimmer. I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not, but they're all kind of shimmery. And I think I'm going to put some shimmer on these wings as well, because I like Winkostella. Okay. Oh, and I guess I better plug in